We start this tour of the Philosopher's Way Trail on the southern slopes of John McLaren Park here in San Francisco. The Philosopher's Way Trail is a 2.7 mile network of trails. Oh, there's my dog Carson. It's a 2.7 mile network of trails that wind its way in and around McLaren Park through grasslands, quiet woodlands, some picnic areas, and it's used by a great many people who both live in the city and visit San Francisco. It's probably McLaren Park's greatest attraction. And over here, this is a typical installation for the Philosopher's Way. These granite benches and granite markers are all made from recycled granite from San Francisco. This particular one, this marker commemorates Martin Luther King, who in 1963, I think, spoke in that big building off in the distance. That's the Cow Palace. So the Philosopher's Way Trail, this part of it was built by hundreds of volunteers from the group called Vocal. And it's a beautiful, narrow, single-track trail that has sustained itself beautifully in this incredibly wet winter. You know, we had rain throughout the winter, and this trail is in excellent shape, probably because of the hard work of the volunteers. And we come to a fork in the trail, and this is the point of this video. This path where my dog is going up, that is where the horses come down. There are horses using these trails now. They make this turn and then continue down the Philosopher's Way Trail. And if you look closely, there's horse manure everywhere on the trail now. Well, not everywhere, but piles of it in many places. And as we go down the trail, we see the damage too. Big crumbling edges of the trail and divots and potholes. I don't know if you can see that pothole. It's hard to tell in video what comes through and what doesn't. And, you know, certain sections look okay. And then here we go, another big patches of manure. The more manure. Yeah, and there's a particularly big one. I mean, you get my point. It's on the trail, used heavily by hikers. And supporters of the horse program, they say, you know, just step around it or, you know, step in it. It's not going to hurt you. It's not like dog poop. And that's true. It's not as bad as dog poop, but it's so much more of it, and so much more of it right on the trails. And people who come to Philosopher's Way Trail, they come to look at the views and look in the nature, not to watch every step to make sure they're not going to step in some horse poop. And as we approach a part of the trail that's sort of below the green water towers, we start to see some of the most distinct damage from the horses. I mean, we still have lots of potholes and divots and just sort of trail imbalance, which, you know, it's still walkable, but little kids or seniors who are a little less able-footed, it's harder than the rest of the trail, the parts that haven't had horses. Now, I don't know if this will show, but we got some nice big divots right there, right at the edge of the trail. It's just caving in a lot of manure. And go further up. And here's, yeah, look at these two big holes. Definitely caused by horse, filled with horse manure. Yeah, these trails just can't sustain the weight of the horses. And my point of this video is to make anybody who has any influence, if we can't get the horses to leave McLaren Park, please at least take them off the narrow parts of the Philosopher's Way Trail.